Hi everyone, good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. It's such a pleasure to have you all here for this important conversation on why you need an AML audit, understanding the strategic value beyond regulatory requirements. So we're so glad you join us today. And I can assure you that this session will be packed with insights that you can start applying right away. But before we dive in, let's do a quick check. Can you hear me clearly? Can you see me okay? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Just use a thumbs up or you use the yes in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me. Okay. All right, I see that. Thank you. All right. It's always a great pleasure. It's always great to see the diversity in the room. So we want you to please head to the chat and tell us where you're joining us from, either your city or your country. Where are you joining us from? We'd love to know. Please let's see that in the chat. And while we're doing that, if you know someone who should be here, maybe a colleague or maybe an industry peer, or maybe you belong to a group and you're sure the group will benefit from what we're doing here today, send them a quick message. Tell them that we are live. Tell them to join us now, that we've only just started, okay? Now, for you to know who will be working with us here, or rather who is walking you through this journey with you today, my name is Oge Anene. I'm a lawyer, a cryptocurrency investigator, and part of the training team here at A&D Forensics. And I'll be your co-host today. I'll be co-hosting this section alongside with two incredible leaders in our firm. First, we are honored to have our senior partner at A&D Forensics. He's one of the Africa's foremost voices in crypto compliance, regulation, and investigations. His work has shaped how institutions across the continent approach virtual assets. And today, you're going to hear directly from him. I'm sure he's on the call. Mr. Deji, his name is Mr. Deji Owenibe. Mr. Deji, please, can you unmute yourself and say hello to us? Hi, Mr. Deji. If you're here, can you please unmute and say hello to us? He's a senior partner at A&D Forensics, one of Africa's foremost voices in crypto compliance. Is he here? Hi, Mr. Deji. Could you please unmute and say hello? Okay, I guess he's always busy. But while we wait for him to come back to us, maybe we'll have the next person on our team by name Chioma Onyekelu. She's another powerhouse on our team. She's the blockchain forensics and AML specialist and a training lead here at A&D Forensics. And she has trained regulators, banks, VASPs across Africa, and she has really equipped them to navigate the complex world of crypto compliance with confidence. So I think she's going to unmute as well to say hello to us. Chioma, are you there? Please say hello to everyone.
Hello. It's a pleasure to have you on the call. Welcome. Thank you.
Hi. Hi, Chioma. Thank you. Thank you. We are really looking forward to your session shortly. And then we also have from East Africa, we're joined by our managing partner in Kenya, Mr. 𝐀𝐔𝐃𝐈𝐓. Has been doing incredible work driving compliance and leading investigations across the region, from Kenya to Rwanda to Tanzania, and beyond. But we can't go into all the amazing work he's been doing right now. But we just want you to at least hear his voice because he's on the call here with us today. So, Mr. 𝐀𝐃𝐈𝐓, can you please say hello to everyone?
Hello, thank you for such a cool introduction, and for our participants, especially for those who are joining now. As you have heard, my name is 𝐀𝐃𝐈𝐓. I'm a certified cryptocurrency investigator and a blockchain forensic specialist at A&D Forensics. And I also happen to serve as the managing partner for A&D Forensics in Kenya, which also covers the entire East African periphery. We just recently concluded some of the ongoing trainings with our team in Ethiopia, and currently we're preparing for some more trainings in Tanzania, which will be happening next week. And these are some of the kind of support that we are basically giving the fintechs, financial institutions, the law enforcement, and also the virtual asset service providers. And of course, back here in Kenya, right now I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. We have also been working closely with some of the blockchain groups, and I know we have a couple of them have joined us today just to get to know what are some of the things that we can basically be able to support them with. So ideally, I can see Chantel. Chantel, thank you so much. So these are some of the things as AMD Forensics are basically putting in place so that the Web3 ecosystem, they don't feel left behind. At least they can be able to know that there is a team which have them at heart and is willing to support them and see them grow even as they support their consumers. Thank you so much, and looking forward for a fruitful discussion.
All right, Mr. Sawe, thank you so much. And we truly appreciate all the impactful work you're doing in the region. Thank you. All right, so before we go into what we have for you today, let's set some quick expectations so we'll be clear on who is in the room. Let's see who this session is designed for. We can see that it's designed for virtual asset service providers in Africa, crypto exchanges, OTC DEX, wallet providers, NFT platforms, fintech companies with crypto exposure, payment providers, and digital banks partnering with crypto platforms and compliance or risk officers in fintech and Web3 systems. But it's not for you if your company has no exposure to crypto, if you are looking for investment tips, or if you are not ready to prioritize AML or compliance in the next 1 to 3 months, then this webinar may not be relevant for you right now. Okay, now we'll have a little bit of housekeeping rules. So for you to get the most of this session, be sure that you silence every distractions. You need to stay present for the next 45 minutes, take notes, and have your questions ready for the question and answer at the end of this session, because this next 45 minutes could be the smartest investment you make in your business this year, right? And before we get ahead, I would just like to know that we have a free gift for everyone here. So if you stay with us until the end of this webinar, you're going to get our free Crypto AML Audit Readiness Checklist. It's an amazing tool that you can use to uncover blind spots and protect your business from costly compliance mistakes, okay? So we'll share the link with you right before the end of this webinar, right? So you're going to be learning a whole lot today, right? So you're going to we're going to look at what an AML audit is and why you need one, how weak compliance quietly blocks your growth, what auditors look out for, and how to know if your setup is effective, and the steps to build trust with banks, investors, and regulators. Right now, let's get to who we are. For those of you meeting us for the first time, we're AML Forensics, and AML Forensics is Africa's leading blockchain intelligence and compliance service provider. We work with financial institutions, regulators, and law enforcement to detect, investigate, and prevent financial crime involving virtual assets, right? You can see our services. Our services cover the full spectrum: KYC and KYB verification, travel rule compliance, wallet screening and monitoring, and compliance unit setup and training. We also handle blockchain forensics, crypto investigations, and expert witnesses. You can also see that on the cybersecurity side, we'll conduct smart contract audits, vulnerability assessment, and penetration testing as well. And for those of you who are looking to build capacity, we run amazing certification programs. We run the certified cryptocurrency investigator and certified cryptocurrency compliance specialist. So yes, we can help you or your team get certified. We've trained and worked with respected organizations such as First Bank, Sterling Bank, the EFCC, ICANN, UNODC, Europol, and so many more. And our footprint spans across the West, the East Africa, and Southern Africa as well. You can see our partners below. Our partners here are, our partners include the global leaders in blockchain intelligence and compliance, which gives us access to cutting-edge tools and insights. So simply put, our mission right here is to keep the crypto system secure, compliant, and trusted. And we are here to help you do the same as well, right? So with that said, it's time for us to dive into the heart of today's session. And this session is led by our blockchain forensics and AML specialist. She has a track record of training regulators, banks, and VASPs across the continent. So please join me in welcoming Chioma Onyekelu. She's going to walk us through why an AML audit is not just a regulatory requirement, it's a strategic advantage for your business. So please welcome Chioma Onyekelu in the chat. Chioma, over to you.
Thank you so much, again, for that. And thank you to everyone that has joined us. And we hope that you're going to get value from today's webinar. Please stay till the end because you are actually going to get value aside the free gift you're going to get. And I'll share my screen. Please permit me to share my screen. Okay. All right, please, can you see the screen now?
Not yet. Okay, it's coming up.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. So thank you so much for joining. I will dive straight into what we have for today. I know most of us are coming from different backgrounds, from different niches. Some people are asset service providers. Some people are actually financial institution players like banks. Some people are fintechs, and even the regulators as well. Or so whatever you are, whatever niche you're representing, just know that this is the right call for you. So what has happened now is that a lot of persons who do not even know where they fall into might be like, oh, I don't need what you're talking about. I don't need AML. But then if you're a VASP, if you're an MSB, you run a crypto exchange, OTC desk, wallet provider, NFT platform, all right? You're not just a tech company. You're not just a tech bro, a tech sis, right? The law treats you as a financial institution. Why? Because you actually handle money. Crypto is money, we know that. So this means that because of that, AML obligations also apply to you fully. So because of that, you're also going to be required to do independent AML audit. Now, because of the background, we believe that we believe that not everybody here is coming from the AML background. So we'd like to brush you up with some regulations from different jurisdictions, particularly in Africa. So for us in Nigeria, where our headquarters is, we have the Money Laundering Prohibition and Prevention Act of 2022, which we all align with. And in that act, it has classified VASP, that's Virtual Asset Service Providers, as financial institutions. We also have the CBN AML CFT regulation that mandates independent AML audits. And we also have the CBN 2023 guidelines for banks and financial institutions to onboard VASPs, right? And then we'll have the SEC AML CFT requirement. So it's actually a regulatory requirement. So let's move to Kenya, Ghana, Rwanda, and other African companies. So our local VASPs, of course, we know that regulations are still evolving for us in different countries. It's still evolving. Our regulators are still trying to put one or two things together. But then, regardless, we have international recommendations like FATF recommendation 15 that has recommended and has asked VASPs to make sure that we implement AML controls, right? And then we have to comply. And then when it comes to Nigeria, let's look at some people that enforce this. The CBN, we're already familiar with the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, in charge of financial institutions. And then we'll have the SEC that supervises capital markets and also VASP, crypto exchanges at the moment. We have EFCC that investigates and prosecutes money laundering offenses and other related financial crimes. I know most of us, even in the crypto space, we've seen a lot of publications by the ESL. We're wondering, why are they after crypto guys? It's because we are also covered in what they do. And then we'll have the NFIU, the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Unit, that, of course, collects, analyzes, and disseminates intelligence to the public. And then when we go to Rwanda, you could talk about the CMA, Capital Market Authority. You could talk about the Rural Rwanda Utilities Regulatory Authority that makes sure of licenses, ICT, or digital platforms. And then for Kenya, we have the Central Bank of Kenya that regulates the bank and financial institutions. We have the Financial Reporting Center, which is like our own NFIU, that's in Kenya. So each particular country have their own FIU, whatever name they call it, is they do the same thing. And then to Ghana, of course, you put already in the space, we know that the BOG is actually actively willing to start engaging and start regulating the VASPs, okay? We'll have the SEC. Well, Then when you go to the regional, remember what I said earlier, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter who you are reporting to, who your regulator is. What matters is that you have to abide, and they will have global recommendations. And one of the key global financial watchdog that you should look out for is FATF. In fact, yesterday on LinkedIn, they made publication of let's say recommendations. They actually made it summarized. All right, so if you've not gotten that, you could just get that. It's simplified for people that are still starting up. You understand it really. And I will have the GIABA. The GIABA is more like intergovernmental action against money laundering. It covers West Africa, so we have Ghana, Nigeria in the same group. And then when you go to East Africa, for Kenya, Tanzania, you have the 𝐀𝐔𝐃𝐈𝐓 that controls that sector. So wherever you are, you will still need to comply. So now, I don't know how many of us know about what we call the 5 pillars of the BSA Act, the AML OFAC compliance program. So now we are going deeper into the main thing. So just stay with me, don't get lost. Remember, if you have your questions, please put it down. You will have opportunity to ask your questions. So now that we understand that the first thing first, independent AML audit is a regulatory requirement. We've understood that. So we're going to see how and where it falls in. So we have the BSA AML compliance program. So wherever you are and you're trying to create your compliance program, you need to make sure that it's about. Okay. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, sorry, it's actually in PDF, so it will be very difficult to do that, but I will just try to increase it. Okay, sorry, excuse me, so that we can just, yes, please come. Apologies, so that we can make it bigger. Okay, so it's better now. All right, thank you so much. So let's continue. So we're talking about the 5 pillars of the BSA AML OFAC compliance program. So no matter what you're trying to build in your compliance unit, in your compliance department, you need to follow these principles. So we have 5 of them, right? And you can see the pictures are so fine. And you can see number 1 is that you need to designate a compliance officer. Someone should take that responsibility to be a compliance officer, even if you're building with compliance in mind, right? It's somebody's role. Let somebody take up. I've even seen some startups that could have things like legal and compliance together, just because they're starting up. I've seen some startup that could have even admin. I've seen someone that is doing admin and compliance, right? You just have to designate somebody. So the fact that you are a startup, you're a crypto firm, oh, we don't know. You just have to make sure that you designate somebody, appoint somebody, and then let the person be qualified, because it's a whole lot of work for you. And the person will ensure that you are meeting up with what is required from you. Then the next thing, which is pillar number 2, is that you're going to develop internal policies, okay, internal procedures and control. These 3 things are 3 in 1. There are 3 siblings. The policy will come first, because you have to set it up, write it out, make sure everything is in place. Then from the policy, you craft out your procedures. The procedures are now the how-to. How will you make sure that you are following what your policies are saying? Then the controls are coming up later to put up, because you must have checked the risk. You have checked the risk and you have now put control to mitigate those risks, all right? So these things are 3 in 1, like I said, and that's pillar 2. So let's move to pillar 3, which is ongoing relevant training of employees. Very important, because anybody really can be the weak link, okay? Anybody can be the weak link. So it's important that even the people, your staff, your employee in your VASP, your fintech, that they understand AML, in as much as the regulators like our CBN or make it mandatory for you. But it's good, because it will be easier for them. When you tell them to do something, they will understand, they will assist you. But if they don't understand it, it becomes very, very difficult. And for you to even make it more robust, this training should be specific to people's role. You should speak to them, being able to identify the red flags, right? It's more like making sure that if these things, if bad actors are trying to come into your platform, they should understand how to spot it, because most of them, anybody can actually be the weak link, like I said. And we have different levels of defenses. We have first level of defense, which are the customer-facing people, staff. So they should understand how these things work before you take it over to the second level and then to the third level. So that's why training is important. Then the next pillar is independent testing and review. That's where we are, right? You have to now test your compliance program. Is it actually okay? Is it actually working? All right. And then this particular independent review, we'll come back to it because that is why we are here. And the last pillar is the CDD, that is customer due diligence, which you must do. And the idea is so that you can improve the financial transactions.
I guess her network. So just give her some time to come back. Okay, she's back.
That I think the network took me off. Thank you so much for prompting me. All right, so I was talking about CDD, which is customer due diligence, and it means that you need to know who your customers are, you need to profile them and keep monitoring them. So now we know the 5 pillars, right? So now let's go over to the next, which is independent AML. Remember, that's pillar number 4. So it's the 4th pillar of an effective AML compliance program. It's not just a best practice this time around. And what it does is to check, is an impartial review of your AML system controls by a qualified external expert. This time around, it's not your compliance officer. It's not your compliance team. So the idea is to make sure you're up to date with current laws and regulations, your systems are functioning, and you're able to detect and prevent money laundering, terrorist financing, and every other financial crime on your platform. So one thing you should know is that AML audit is not actually financial audit. This is a common misconception. A lot of people will think, oh, we are doing audits. Please check the name, the prefix before the audit. Is it AML audit or is it financial audit? So what are the differences? The purpose of an AML audit is actually to know how well your business is money laundering. While that of financial audit is to verify your financial statement and accuracy. Now, the focus of an AML audit is on your controls, your KYC, due diligence, financial monitoring. But financial audit is on income, expenses, assets, and liabilities. Now, the people that perform AML audits are actually certified AML compliance specialists, forensic experts, like people that have CAMS, CFE, crypto compliance professionals. But when you come to financial audit, you're talking about the certified accountant, you're talking about the chartered accountant, the CPAs, and then the use are actually different. For AML audit, you're using it to obtain your license, make it better, have better investor communications and relationship, and bankers and then regulators. But for financial audits, you're talking about tax, investment, financial strategy, or even when we do investigation, like financial fraud investigation, that's when we talk about financial audit. So now let's proceed to what AML audits are actually designed to do. So they are designed to check, are your policies effective? Some people have policies, but they're not effective. They're not even following them, right? Are your controls actually working? Are you doing what your compliance manual says you should do? Those are the reasons why you do that. And so here might be wondering, I'm an African. I don't think I need an AML audit. But let me tell you the truth. It matters to you as an African, because most African startups that I know personally actually engage or have businesses to do with foreign investors, especially foreign investors. All right. You might be wondering, why did they invest in you? It could be that you actually did not give them a good AML audit report, so they can't trust you to give you that. Or probably your license. All right, you're still seeking for license and all that. So regulators want to know that you are managing the ongoing risk, the emerging risk as they come out. All right. So if you look at the key developments that have happened, you see that a lot has happened in the crypto space, right? Just a lot of laws have been passed. All right. We have the FinCEN beneficial ownership rule, FATF 2023, BRICS-based guidance, and every other thing. So the bottom line is that if your platform handles international transactions, your partners, you're actually partnering with foreign entities, or you want to scale, right? You could try to say, okay, let me start with an African country and scale. Then your AML audit must actually meet international standards. All right. So we've talked about, we won't spend much time here because we have some frameworks, the Bank Secrecy Act, USA Patriot Act, and all, even FATF recommendation. So whatever it is, make sure that you are complying. So beyond regulatory requirements, what are the strategic, what are the values you get when you perform an AML audit? So we are going beyond the regulatory requirements. Number one, you detect risk early enough. All right. So before it goes too much or goes to the public, you can manage it. Number two, it gives you stronger banking relationship. Most banks, of course, banks have been asked to bank on board VASP. They want to be sure that you're mature enough to come into the financial system. And how do you make sure that you let them know that you're mature enough? Is by presenting an AML audit reports. All right. And it helps you to actually obtain license if the persons are in that stage where they want to obtain license, right? So what will give the regulators the confidence that you are mature enough is where you have an AML audit report. It gives you enhanced credibility. The investors, when they want to do due diligence, of course, they will not come to tell you, hey, we didn't invest in you because no, but then you didn't go the extra mile. And it's a competitive advantage. You can imagine when you're pitching and you say, okay, unlike this, we also make sure that we have a very robust compliance program, which is also evidenced in our AML audit report. You are winning that pitch already. Okay, so now who should conduct your AML audit? Because it's not everybody. I remember we said it's not financial audit. So it's actually supposed to be conducted. Of course, you have to maintain true independence when you're looking for an AML auditor. All right, you have to maintain true independence because it's independent. It's not supposed to be the person, the compliance officer, or the person in the compliance team, or anybody reporting to the compliance officer. Then the person must have specialized experience, especially in this crypto field, because we're talking about crypto AML audits. So you cannot choose somebody that is not experienced. Certified expertise, right? For you to be able to do AML audit, you need to have some certifications, 𝐀𝐔𝐃𝐈𝐓, CFE, and every other certification that could make you certified and qualified. Then regulatory knowledge, very important. Recall that I've also mentioned that you do not need to just localize it to your own jurisdiction when you're conducting an AML audit, because most of the fintechs, the VASPs, we do international transactions. We have foreign partners that invest in us, okay? So you have to make sure that you meet global demands. There are risk-based insights, okay? So it's only someone that is experienced, it's only a team that is actually experienced that will know how to do risk assessment for you, because the typology related to virtual assets, the typology related to crypto is significant, is different, okay? And then let's avoid this common pitfall, because general accountant or consultant without AML or crypto compliance experience, they may miss critical red flags. And remember, it's not a financial audit. So what happens when you ignore AML audits? You could just wake up one day and you see that your bank account has been frozen, shut down. Any message that the compliance team wants to send to you, you start running helter-skelter. Business is delayed. Your customers are calling you. Investors can easily walk away when they're still trying to decipher whether they're going to do business with you. Your license that you're trying to even renew or get can be delayed or probably rejected. You risk fines. Of course, if you don't do your AML audits, regulators will fine you. Damaged reputation, serious violation can actually lead to fines, like I've explained. All right, so just one case study here, and then I'll pass the mic to our senior partner. So we have just a case study of an AML audit failure that led to heavy fine, though it didn't happen in Africa, but then it's a case study that we need to look at. So we had Gordon's partnership in the UK. They were fined £7,784 for failing to conduct an independent AML audit under their own regulation 21 of the Money Laundering Regulation 2017. Now, there was something very important or significant here. Their failures included, they didn't do enough client risk assessment, we know that. Inadequate policies, we know that. And the missing audit, that AML audit was missing. And then the regulator noted that this could have been identified and fixed if they actually did an audit. So you could see beyond regulatory requirements, you have a lot of strategic values when you conduct AML audits. And I think I was reading over the weekend, I was reading the NYDFS charges against Paxos, right? It was, in fact, it's quite impactful and insightful. And it made mentions of, in as much as Paxos were doing audit, they did audit 2021 because audit is something you do yearly, 2021, 2022. And of course, in an audit report, there are recommendations, and that recommendation is for you to fix the gaps. But what they didn't do right was that when the recommendations came to them, they did not use it to their own advantage, because they were supposed to actually now correct it and now be the winners in the game. And another thing that was spotted in that report, if you read it, is the fact that their third-party due diligence was not significant enough, despite the fact that they actually signed a contract with their regulator. So the third-party diligence was not okay. So they believed whatever their third party told them. So if you're a compliance officer here, it means that when you're asking a team or a group to provide reports, and then they'll go and type a lot of beautiful things and then give it to you, send it to you, please pass me, verify me. And then you didn't go to check to verify that that message that is shared with you is correct, then you've been going for it. That's what I'm saying. You also mentioned a lot about money laundering. So it's very helpful. So at this point, I think I will have to stop and then pass the mic to our senior partner, no other person but Mr. Adedeji Owenibi, to be able to take it off from here. Thank you so much. Please keep your questions. Mr. Deji, you're up now.
Yeah, continue to present so that I can speak from your presentation.
Okay. Just a moment. All right.
Can you move? Or maybe if you're having difficulty, I can try to present. Okay, thank you everyone, and thank you for being part of this webinar. I think it's been very enlightening. What we need to do as compliance officers to make sure that we just stay current and be able to stay on top of our work. It's very challenging, but again, it's something we can do. So with all that has been said, what can be the the next step for your business to make sure that things work as you want it to be, and also in sync with your regulators, in sync with investors, and make sure nobody flags your account, nobody damages your reputation, like she mentioned of the use case now. So you need to be able to take some moves to make sure that that works. Next slide now. Hello, Shawan. Okay, it's lagging a bit. So for us, we think you have two options. One is to be able to clearly just itemize these things that have been mentioned for you to actually do it yourself. Of course, make sure that you work everything yourself. Make sure that what you are checking is working. But the danger in doing that is clearly just people are not good in checking themselves. Again, if your officers feel they want to make sure that they check everything, possibly this is living. And so that's why most startups, most fintechs, most VASPs simply just ask us to say, hey, I wanted to come and audit. And to their surprise, most of the audits when we do it, they are shocked at what we do. But because this is an involuntary AML check that you do for your business, so we tell you those gaps that we see, and we check everything from all your systems to the operation to transaction monitoring to due diligence that you do to red flags that we think you're having without you seeing it. We leave them out for you to actually see. Yeah, because why the first option we think might not be the best is that your internal team, of course, will miss the risk. If you do it yourself, it will drain you to pull that guy away from the work that he should be doing, and then trying to check those ones. And the platform might not be robust enough to have it developed independent people. So maybe that would be the reason why you want to just do it yourself. But again, always better for you to call a third party to actually help you do the AML audits. Next slide. So like I did mention, we've worked with a couple of startups, again, fintechs. We have made it in a way that we open up our services to be able to, capture really what startups and fintechs and virtual asset service providers, or anybody that just does maybe OTC, all those issues around crypto, you must comply. So that you don't actually just get shocked when regulators come knocking. It's great that we do this independent AML audit. We just concluded for one of the very big exchanges, and it took us weeks actually to make sure they put the right thing in place, because we saw a lot of things that they supposedly believe that has been there before time. So we have a lot of multi-qualified team members. So there's a lot of them. I do forensic accounting. I do digital forensic. I'm a certified fraud examiner. And we have a lot of people that are also compliance specialists. We have different certifications around cryptocurrency forensic investigations. So it's a full team. And we have clear fellows of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria also on the team to be able to make sure that we check everything and actually give you the best that should happen in case regulators come knocking. So, of course, we also do a lot of risk-based review, check your operations, check whatever happens, and we actually try to narrow down to what is required within the African shores for you using the international standards to benchmark. Next slide. So, of course, we are one of the maybe the first that has gone into digital asset compliance early. We're partners with Chain Analysis early days, possibly the first partners to them in African shores. And we've been growing slowly with that as time goes. We've been working together with a lot of partners that were shown from the beginning. So we've got strong reputation around African countries. We have been involved with the regulators themselves, the financial intelligence units of different countries. And we have our presence, like we mentioned, here in Nigeria, in Ghana, in Kenya, in Senegal, Botswana, and we are expanding that. And so with that, we'll be able to tell you exactly what regulators want to see. We're involved not only locally, we're involved internationally with United Nations. So we contribute a lot around the United Nations effort on digital asset and the likes. I think while we're on this meeting, we're supposed to join a United Nations meeting that will be handling trainings for law enforcement in Tanzania. We just finished one last 2 weeks ago in Ethiopia for judges, because again, it's a lot for judges, for fintechs, for regulators, so that we are just doing the right thing. And also while we're doing that hand by hand, we're also hand-holding startups and trying to put them in place what exactly these regulators want. So like that, we explain our knowledge on international AML standards and contributing generally on things around digital asset and working with fintechs regulation and requirement and suggestions. And that is the kind of experience we come to bear in trying to check you, because now you're checking yourself before you're being checked, right? So the independent AML audit is what you just have. Yeah, Olumide, your mic is on. Yeah, so next slide. Okay. So what gain you have, of course, beyond compliance, we position you for growth. We advise you on what you can build. We help you quickly before it goes too bad, identify red flags, and also build your efficiency, of course, without anybody actually knowing you are going through those checks internally. And also we give you a complete report that when you action them, I think it will be watertight for you, for anyone coming around to actually do that. And of course, the tailored support post the audit that we do with different startups, really. Next. Yeah, so for us, I think it's great. I think we have a kind of free gift for you to even know, because again, everything you want to do is you knowing exactly what you need to do from the beginning. So we have, I think, a document when I pass through. Of course, you can reach us. I think we're very much available on different platforms. We're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're on Twitter, we're on, all around, and of course, all of us here on the team are easily reachable. And we can give you that quick check on what you need to do, get some insight on what you should be building. If you're also an audit firm, for example, that want to go into those kind of practice, we can also discuss on how we can help you create those, and maybe with the necessary training, you can set up that within your practice, for example. And if you are also a compliance firm and are looking, maybe you are doing traditional compliance and you're looking to move into the compliance within Web3 and blockchain-enabled digital asset, is something that we're very open to assist you, because you're on this call. Normally, we charge for those, and we are not going to charge anybody on this call for those consultations. And also, I think we have some few documents to actually share with you. So thank you for listening. I think we are very much open for questions and answers at this time. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deji, for those practical insights and clear steps. I think now it's time for questions and answers. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chats so we can take them now. Do you have any questions for us?
Yes, I can see Samson. Samson is asking, can they have a copy of the presentation slide after the session? So I think that can be answered. And okay. Then Lekon has his hands up.
All right, Mr. Olalekon, you can unmute yourself to ask. Okay, as for Samson, yes, we will.
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Fantastic. I really enjoyed it. I think to a reasonable extent, I was able to pick at least 4 points out from the whole presentation. So that being said, I just want to know, basically, this AML audit of a thing, is it a one-off thing or is it an ongoing thing? Is it one-off, regular, or what would you advise?
So I think from
best practice.
From experience, thank you, Mr. Lekon, for your question. I think from experience, what we've seen is that people, it depending, because it is not a statutory requirement like the normal financial audits and all those issues, but it's something you want to do. It's like self-checking yourself. So I think it has to go with internal policy. We suggest that people do it maybe annually or maybe once every 2 years, possibly if nothing has radically changed. A few people that we have just concluded with for this year, I don't expect them to come back next year to want to do it, except maybe something dramatic have happened within the compliance space and they have drawn away from the recommendations that we are giving them. If not, possibly if nothing changed and everything is fine, for many years, really, they can just keep that going. So anyone that comes to check their AML compliance, they could pull up, they could ask for the AML report. So if you go, for example, as a regulator, and want to check a VASPs if they are complying, the first point of call, and I advise anyone going for such audit, is to say, have you done any AML audit? If they say yes, pick the report. Is the best place to go, because everything has been checked back and forth, and the recommendation they give them to do could be the only place you're going to say, have this been checked and this been checked, and it will give you just a rundown of their compliance culture in that organization. So I would say annually, but if nothing actually happened or nothing dramatic happened within the firm or maybe within the compliance landscape, maybe twice a year. But I can bet you many people may not go through that twice, 2 years. it would be better you do it annually, because again, compliance is a living thing. It changes dramatically around the globe. So you can just be sure that everything is fine. So yes, that's that, Mr. Olalekan. So I can see also, I don't know in which order. I can see Toby, I can see David Odu. I don't know. So maybe David, you can. Okay, Toby is the one. Toby is the next. Toby, go with your question.
Maybe I can take it.
Yes, take it. Go, David, if Toby is not ready. Yeah, David.
Okay. First of all, let me congratulate you, Mr. DG, my brother. You know, for this.
Thank you, sir. Congratulations. I saw you have moved to currency. We need money. I see you have moved to currency operations.
Thank you so much for this. In fact, this area, I was so happy when I saw the advert for this training. I said, no, let me just be part of it. Mine is not really a question, but rather it's more like a contribution to the conversation. The topic is apt because it's an area where institutions, organizations hardly go through. You know, they have every organization is having their what do you call it, the AML safety policy and procedure manual, because it is a regulatory requirement. But if you look at it, inside that policy and procedure manual, it is stated there that every institution must carry out the AML audit. I mean, yes, the AML or the AML safety audit. Now, that audit, most organizations look at it as like the normal routine internal audit that they do in their organizations. It is not. It is quite different from that. And like your presenter made it very clear, it is an independent audit and is to be carried out by people who have expertise in that area. Okay, so now even in the what do you call it, the policy document that all these organizations have, because most of them have it for keeps, so that when the regulators come, they just say we have it. Now you have it. Do you really implement it to the letter? Do you implement it to the letter? Because inside that policy document, it states clearly how frequent that policy should be reviewed. So when you see that global standard practice, that policy is to be reviewed annually, meaning that you must carry out your AML audit annually as well, all right, so that it conforms with international standards. The financial crime space is highly dynamic. You can't even leave it for more than 1 year, because if you leave for more than 1 year, you'll be chasing the criminals. Okay, so I want to thank you, Mr. DG, for this wonderful area, and I hope that we work hard to really support institutions in the virtual asset space as well, because it's really an emerging area, and not just emerging, but a threatening area. We need to talk to these people to get professionals to work for them. Many of them are avoiding getting professionals, people who are certified in these areas, to work for them, because they are avoiding costs. It is not cheap to hire a certified fraud examiner or a certified anti-money laundering specialist or a virtual asset crypto specialist. So thank you so much for this opportunity, Deji.
Thank you, sir, David. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. I think you are in sync with Mr. Onyemachi Achebe and co. That suggested he agrees that we should go with the suggested 1 year as against 2, which is true that a lot of it's fast paced. The financial crime landscape is fast paced, and the only thing is that, like you mentioned, is cost. A lot of people have signified interest to actually do it, but they are looking at the cost. Most time they don't do it, and maybe because some regulators don't insist that they must have that. So, but yeah, it's great. We just keep pushing and that's why we also made our our fees a bit subsidized for people, and then but we go through serious rigors for them. At times they question why we are too rigorous, but that's how it is. It's either you're following, it's not just a tick box on your paper, it's something for you to actually make sure you have in place to safeguard everyone. And I think there's a question from Solomon Kisinga to say, the AML audit compliance, are we looking at just local regulations or international? AML is AML globally. I think there's a global standard most of the countries aligned to. So it's a global standard. AML audit conducted in Nigeria should be able to stand the test of anybody doing any operation, maybe in the US or anywhere. So we use the normal international FATF regulations, all those standards, and just make sure that we check everything in sync, really. Yes, Ogie, I pass the mic to you.
All right, thank you so much, sir. Thank you for those insights. So I think everyone here can agree now that there's a lot we can take away and start applying immediately. So before we wrap up, just to let you know, like Mr. Deji mentioned, we are offering a complimentary 20-minute crypto compliance strategy session. No charge, no obligation. So in just 20 minutes, we can help you spot some potential compliance gaps. We can share quick wins with you that you can implement right away. So the link is on the chat. You can click on it. We just have 5 slots for the month. So you can click on it and book yours. It's a personalized one-on-one time with our experts, normally reserved for paying clients, but we'll open it just for a few slots for those of you who are here today and those who are ready to take action. So I think I pinned the link to the group so you can check it. Maybe if you've been wondering where you stand on how you can strengthen your compliance without slowing your growth, this is your chance. Book your slot now before they are all gone. And speaking of taking action, we want to also make sure that you leave this session with something you can start using right away. As promised, we promised to give you a free crypto AML audit readiness checklist. So I think the link is in the chat right now. You can go ahead and click it to download it. Don't just let it sit in your files. Take it back to your team, review it together, and use it to spot or fix any compliance gaps before they hurt your business. So if you can see the link in the chat, let me know. You can just click on it and download it right now before this session closes, right? It's just going to last for 24 hours. It will only be available for the next 24 hours. And if you miss it today, you might not get another chance to have it. Okay, so remember the 5 exclusive spots for the 20 minutes compliance check. It's a such short session that would help you. And please also stay connected with us. Follow us on LinkedIn for more practical compliance tips. We'll have case studies, we'll have updates. Once you follow us and you subscribe to our newsletter as well, so you never miss out on our training invites, our resources, and industry insights. So in the absence of any questions, Chidera says, do you offer discounts for certifications? Yes, it depends on the one you want. So maybe you can just reach out to us on our LinkedIn platform and let us know which one you are interested in. Okay, so please stay connected with us. And on behalf of our speakers and the entire A&D forensics team, we want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your engagement and commitment to raising compliance standards. Okay, so I think it's time to call it a day. Have a great day and keep building compliance that drives trust, that drives growth and impact. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending. Have a beautiful day.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.